Here is the underside after going through and pulling off all that undercoating. So for you horsepower junkies out there, we are going to be cracking into this thing. This was, well, is now his 468, and he wants to go a little crazier with this. I just welded on this tab, so this guy is going to come in through here and get locked on. You can see that line's nice. It gives me a nice shot to go up over the rear end, and then I got to come into that. All right, you guys, welcome back. So we are going to finish up on the brake lines, and I'm going to show you what's going on with the underside of the car. It's all painted, ready to rock and roll. I didn't do from the rear end back because I'm not ready for that yet, but I did for where the brake lines and everything are going to go. So here, I'll show you what's up front, how we have finished up all the front brake portions. All that stuff's done and connected. Line lock's all hooked up now. It's not wired up, but there's what we got now. So nice and easy. You can see how I kept it just nice and around the frame. Goes through where the alternator is. I got a little pocket in there. I'll show you what I got there. And then just coming up front, whoop, I loop it in to the side, and I mean I got plenty of room in here where my finger is. I probably got 2 fingers width inside there, so plenty of room. And then I went through the same way that I always polish it, with you know, some Scotch-Brite and some clear. So that's what we got there, and that's what we got there. So to me, it's just worth spending that extra little bit of time just to have some nice brake lines and all that. But let's get the car up in the air, and I'll show you the underside, how it looks now that we got all the undercoating and stuff done. And oh no, I'm getting stalked here. Hi. Nick just came from a rave party, and what was that with the little neon stringers that you're rolling around? But anyways, so I'm gonna get this thing up in the air, show you guys the underside, and we're gonna finish up on the brakes on this thing. We'll get the backs all done. So let's get to it. Here is the underside after going through and pulling off all that undercoating. Oh, kind of hard to see. I'm trying to do my best. I got a light down here. Trying to do my best here. But you can see the frame turned out nice. You can see that whole underside on that side. Well, both sides, obviously. But it just, I mean, the floors are just gorgeous on this thing. You know, they turned out really, really nice to where I'm happy with that. And, you know, again, the floors, there's a little bit of this, you know, undercoating that just kind of sort of left itself on there. Like I said, I went through with a wire brush, did all that, and, you know, same thing here. You know, the frame turned out decent. It's kind of hard to see. I'm trying to do my best here, you guys. And I'm a little too far away from the light here. But, you know, again, these floors are freaking gorgeous here. So I'm super happy with how everything turned out. It was just you know, it was several hours of sitting there pulling off the undercoating, but I'm happy with it. So we got that brake line in. There we go. Got that all set up. You can see I have plenty kind of hanging down to give me plenty of suspension travel. I'm going in between the ladder bar, so I have enough to go that way, enough to go that way. Looks like, you know, I can make a piece that like comes off and comes down if I have to, or if I have to do something to where I can get that line to come up this way. I can come off with like a J and then come into there. So that gives me enough room there. I got that little tab welded on. So this whole bottom or backside brake line's all done, ready to go. So we're good there. You guys might be asking yourselves the question of, if you bought the entire kit from Right Stuff, that why didn't you just run the kit? You know, why didn't you run what was all pre-bent, ready to rock and roll for this thing? It's a good question. You guys could do it that way if you want to. but with the ladder bars and everything else that I have in the car, one of the big things was I didn't want to go and make like a 180 coming out of the proportioning valve and then have like 6 feet of extra line going towards the front of the car and then looping around and then it comes down the passenger side. I was just looking at it going, the more line that you add is just possible problems. So at that point, I just eliminated like 6 feet, 7 feet worth of brake line. So that's why I took this one that was already pre-bent, straightened it out, and did some alterations to it and made it work over here. And it just makes sense. I don't know, hit me down in the comments, but to me it makes sense to have it literally come straight out of the proportioning valve. And the straighter I can make it, the better chance of not having any kinks, any problems of having something goofy in the back brake lines. So I don't want that to happen. So that's why I did what I did. Now I'm going to do the axle lines, and at that point, once that's done, back brakes are done, and we could pretty much bleed them. But let's go take a look and see what's going on with Schuler over there. Motor is officially out of Schuler's car. Schuler wants to do some fun over wintertime, so for you horsepower junkies out there, we are going to be cracking into this thing. This is now his 468, and he wants to go a little crazier with this. So we do have a Blueprint engine tall deck block that we're going to use, possibly use. And here's the plan. This is what we're going to try to do. We're going to sell this as a complete short block, and we're going to put it up on Marketplace. It's probably got 1,000 to maybe 1,500 miles pushing it. And it's all good stuff. I mean, it's SRP. It's about 10.5 to 1 on pistons, Eagle H-beam rods. It's a factory 454. What would it be? A 5140 steel crankshaft, studded 2-bolt main bottom end. Moroso pan, Moroso pump. Lanati solid roller cam. It's 260, 268 on a 110. ATI balancer. It's just all really nice pieces. When I ended up building this motor for him, we were going to spray it. We never did. And he enjoyed it, but he was like, I want to go a little quicker. So we're going to sell this, just a short block. We're keeping the cylinder heads and all that stuff. I'm going to do a little bit more work on porting the intake and porting the heads. I've already done some, what I would consider my economy job. We're going to take it a little bit farther. But on this, we're going to see if we can sell that short block, and then it's either going to be money towards the tall deck, and then we put all that stuff on top of that, maybe make like a 582, maybe a 598. Or if this doesn't sell, then we're going to sell the rotating assembly, the crank rods and pistons out of this. We'll turn this into a 496 and then put all that stuff on there. I have some camshafts over there because right now this motor is good for, I believe it was like 650, 660. I have to look it up. But it makes good power, 1090 car. And he just wants to go a little quicker, and we're probably going to throw a kit down it. And at that point, again, we'll do the 496, a little bit more head work, a little bit more camshaft, try to make into the 700s comfortably and still be a fun pump gas street car, and then hit it with, say, a 250 shot. And he wants to be able to run single digits now that we have, I put the full cage in the Camaro for him. We got all this stuff done. So once, I built the cage for him and got all this stuff in, and he finished up the interior, was when he was like, I want to go quicker. I'm ready to go. I want to go quicker. And, Caltrax. We actually ran that 468 with a turbo 350. It's got a cone converter. The turbo 350 is all built to, it's built as good as it's going to get. Does not have a trans brake. It's just a reverse manual valve body. We are going to do a turbo 400, and he's ready to take it up to that next level. So, the short block will go up for sale, like I said, and we're just going to start tearing into it. So for you horsepower junkies out there who, want to see us build some good old-fashioned big block Chevy power, well, this one's going to be for you. So this will be coming up in the next couple of episodes of just tearing into it. We're going to take a little bit of time. Like I said, it's going to be a month of trying to sell it, and if it doesn't sell within that month, we're just going to make a 496. If it does sell, then the rotating assembly, then we're going to do the big block. Then the tall deck. Then we'll go to like a 582, or because it's already a 460 bore, or we'll go to a 598. So, all right, so we got that funky driver side one done. You can see where, let me move you up here. You can see where I ended up coming up and through here, welded my tab onto the rear end, and then from there, I came down and around, brought it up, and then you can see right where I'm on the caliper. So there's no kinks or anything goofy there getting that on. So now I'm far enough away from the rotor, no problems there. I just welded on this tab, so this guy is going to come in through here and get locked on. You can see that line's nice. It gives me a nice shot to go up over the rear end, and then I got to come into that thing. So where's my trusty brake line? Here's my trusty brake line. So now I'm going to start on that last piece right there. Final piece of the puzzle. So there it be. Well, actually, it's going to go this way. So it'll go into the union there. It's kind of the shape of the Dana at the top. And then I got the straight edge that'll kick into the passenger side. This I didn't care as much to be so precise with bends and all that stuff because you're not going to see it. That was kind of my big portion there. Just as long as you don't kink anything. So, all right, tighten this bad boy up. I got to do a little bit of bending back on it just to get it over the rear end a little better. But I got about a hand width. Got about a hand width on the top side of it. Here, I'll show you guys what I did. Yeah. So you can see where I'm at there. So it's just a nice kind of a J bend and then up over right to there. And then that's just around and through. And you can see where it connects right up there. Okay, so the underside is about as done as it's going to be right now. Brake lines are all on. I hope you guys dug that. I hope you liked it. And I didn't try to make it spot on perfect just because of the fact that I'm going to drive the car. I don't want a perfect underside to where the paint's perfect and just, I'm very happy with how it turned out. So the next thing we're going to work on is the trunk. I'll give you a little preview of what's coming up. And I just pulled the deck lid off, pulled out a bunch of parts out of the thing that I had stored in there for some interior trim, stuff like that. And I forgot. I haven't seen inside the trunk in like a year. So it was like, oh man, where are we at? So at that point, it was like, well, you know, how's the trunk coming? So there's where the trunk's at. And you got an idea of, you know, roll cage and the mini tub job and all that stuff. I'll explain that in the next episode. But I just wanted to say thank you guys for checking everything out and sticking around. We are going to do a little bit more on Schuler's build because you guys might be asking, you know, hey, what's going on over there? We're going to make more power. So hopefully you guys that are a little bit more of horsepower junkies, we got you covered over there. So we're going to either do a stroker or we're definitely going to be making more power with Schuler's setup. He wants to run single digits next year, and we will definitely get there. So again, don't forget, Tuesdays at 4:30 is where we do the Muscle Car Custom Garage. And on Thursdays, it seems like people have been kind of digging the Muscle Car Corner. And if so, hit me down in the comments and let me know if you guys have been enjoying it. But Muscle Car Corner will be Thursdays at 4:30. Will be uploaded then. And that's just a nice 15 minutes worth of me and the old man just kind of BSing about cars that we've built, cars we've done. Right now, the focus is a little more on him to give you guys an idea of the stories that I used to hear when I was a kid that he would tell me, you know, of all these golden era cars that he had. And I mean, the old man's had hundreds of cars. And just listening to these stories, and I'm hoping that possibly, you know, it inspires, you know, some of the guys out there, some of you guys out there, you know, to maybe try dabbling into the car culture. And if not, it's, you know, my fellow car enthusiasts out there, just grab a drink, kick back, listen to some stories. You know, it's winter time, all the tracks are closed, and it's kindling to keep the fire going, to want to move into the next year and keep going and get faster and drive harder and maybe go to car shows, maybe go to the drag races, or, you know, maybe just have a nice classic car, take your girlfriend, your wife out for some ice cream, and just have a good time enjoying, you know, Americana, you know, of muscle cars. So anyways, you guys, I appreciate you checking out the channel. Don't forget to hit that share, that like, that subscribe, and we will see you again, my friends. Adios.